Hello, good evening, everyone. Okay, I guess I'm live and we're still waiting for other people to join the live stream. Um, okay, so when every other person join, we would begin and I would introduce myself. Hi, good evening, Ore. Thank you for joining. And we're still actually waiting for other people to join, maybe like 5 minutes. Then I get to introduce myself and tell us the objective of today's activities. So just give us like 5 minutes for one or two people to join, then we can begin. Hi, Kuti. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Hi, Holland. Good evening. How are you doing? Okay, so to just make this also being interactive, I think, oh, thank you. You're already like joining from France. Hi, Edmond. Thank you for joining. Edmond from Lagos, thank you for joining. And am I correct, Olin? Yes, I think so. Thank you for joining. And okay, so at least we have one or two people here. Hi, Oba, Saro. Uh, Good evening. And how you doing? I don't know if you're in Lagos. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Anywhere you're joining from is another opportunity to have you guys here. So I think we can begin just not to waste anyone else's time. Okay, good evening everyone. And I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Temitope Bankole, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. And today we're also like, as you know, we're talking about building on AWS AI Assistant to handle our tasks for day to day. And we already have our speaker here ready to just give you one or two things on how explain one or two things and break things down for you. And if you have question, just drop it down and I will try as much as possible to get it to the speaker and we get to run the show. So if you have any question, you can just drop it on the chat and I would try as much as possible to get it across to the speaker. So I think we can just begin while I introduce who our speaker is. His name is Promise Uche Nwachukwu, and I'll be reading some of his bio just to see how juicy and how our speaker is. Hi, Abdulatif. Good evening. Thanks for joining, and I'm happy you're here today. Like I said earlier, the speaker today is Promise Uche Nwachukwu is an accomplished senior consultant in cloud and DevOps engineering, specializing in building secure infrastructures for diverse clients with a robust background in IT and IT consulting. Promise is a dedicated to enhancing client operational resilience and safety in an increasingly complex digital landscape. And he is passionate about leveraging innovation technologies. Promise excel in designing strategic solutions tailored to meet specific business needs. His collaboration approach reinforce partnerships with stakeholders, ensuring the implementation of best practices and regulation compliance. With a keen understanding of emerging threats and trends, Promise is a committed to educating clients on security measures that would safeguard their assets and foster growth. It continuously seek opportunities with expand his expertise and share insights with the broader tech community. And I'm going to be sharing his LinkedIn so you can connect with him and have more understanding of what he does. Just to let you know that everything I've read here is telling you robust and um, how robust our speaker is going to be today. Adewale, thank you for joining. Olajide, Ibrahim, thank you for joining. And I'm happy for you to be here today because we're going to learn so much more. And if you have any question, do not hesitate to drop it on the chat and we'll try as much as possible to answer your questions. And I'll be bringing our speaker in shortly. So, and at the end of it, we're going to have a quiz which each and every one of us can answer and see how much we've learned in the process. So, with that, I'm going to bring the speaker on the stage right now. And please, everybody, help me welcome Promise Uche Nwachukwu.
Yeah, hello everyone. How are we all
Hi,
doing
good
today?
evening.
Hello,
I'm
Temitope. How is
fine.
it going?
Fine, thank you. Hope you're good. And
Yes,
welcome to
I
today's
am.
session.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a pretty sunny day here. Very, I would say, seems the sun is doing wonders today. So yeah, forgive the so much brightness. I would say.
Don't
All
worry.
right. I guess I would proceed to to share one or two things today, but I mean, I'm happy to be back here once again. I know it's been a while. It's been a while, and one of the things I always encourage everyone is keep sharing knowledge, keep learning, because the world isn't going to wait for you, right? And with the advances in technology, we have things keep changing, lots of upgrades keep happening. So you always want to ensure you are the forefront of all of those things happening. You you don't want to be left behind. That's what I would say, right? And I think that's why I'm happy for people like you being here in the community, fostering engagements like this, engaging the community. I think this is how we are going to get people to know about the changes happening. As a community, we can only do the best we can, right? But when you have a group of like minded people who are interested in things like this, yes, you get to, what's the word? You get to communicate with them. And before you know it, you have a group of people building and doing awesome things with these lovely technologies we have. All right. So thank you very much, Temitope. All right. So everyone, I'll proceed to sharing my screen. I think we have an amazing topic today, and I say so because I remember while I was going through all of this, and I was asking myself, what is going to be the plan for today, right? But I mean, it's been amazing. Um, there has been awesome, um, what I say, awesome changes happening in the AWS with the announcement of various wonderful services as well. So today we'll be looking at an interesting topic. Let me share my screen. Yes, building solutions using AWS AI Assistant on day-to-day task. So the idea of all of this generally is how how best would you build your solutions? As we know, right, due to the recent changes happening in terms of um, AI coming into the picture, there is room for, will I say, faster production. So imagine that you have a mechanism on your laptop that is able to scan through your code, is able to, let you know, oh, okay, I can see this is all you've done. um, there is a possibility of improvement here and there, right? And then gives you various options. Is able to also write codes for you. I mean, I feel that you would be able to even work faster. You'll be able to troubleshoot faster if you have issues. And of course, at the end of the day, the amount of work you produce will be a lot more, right? Compared to what it used to be. All right, let's proceed. So, interesting topic, like I said. So, before we begin, I would just like us to just have an understanding on some of these things, right? What is an AI assistant? So, I believe most of you would have heard about this. AI assistant, AI assistant, AI assistant. What does it really mean, right? Generally, an AI assistant is just a software application that uses artificial intelligence to understand, to automate, complete everyday task, right? So it's a normal software, but it has the capacity to integrate with artificial intelligence to give you awesome results, right? And one of the beautiful thing about this is that your AI tools, they have the ability to learn, right? So it's possible for you to feed your AI tools some content in terms of like knowledge bases specific to your domain. So, say for instance, you're building a model, right? And you want a model to be able to assist you, right, in fulfilling some task. And let's say there has been a lot of documents you have been compiling over the years, right? It's possible for you to then serve this what's it called, this AI, or this model you're building. You can serve that model these files you've gathered over the years, and it can do something like some scanning, right? And when it scans through those pages, it's you can then do something like things like query. You can query the model for new knowledge gotten from the artifacts you've shared with it. So generally, AI assistants are just softwares or software applications that have the capability of being integrated with AIs and systems to basically help you automate your daily functions or generally help you produce solutions faster. Now, one of the things you have to know is this: by implementing AI assistants, businesses typically see significant improvement in operational efficiency, right? So, in times or places where um, people, let's say maybe two or three people, are troubleshooting some, what would I call it? They've been troubleshooting some bug or something in the production environment. With the use of AI assistants, you get to have all of the knowledge those two or three people have. You get to have it sitting somewhere. And then your AI assistant, especially with the knowledge you have, you can then query that AI assistant to be able to give you, practical solutions to issues you may likely face or issues you are facing in your prod environment. All right. Let's move on. Now, AWS ecosystem for AI assistants, right? So one of AWS is one wonderful platform that has a lot of AI tools, a lot of also services that you can also use in building and managing, intuitive applications, right? And you can see Amazon Q is generally one of that, will I say, service that AW has that is able to give you, generally, it's called generative for a reason, right? It's called generative AI for a reason, being the fact that it can generate ideas It can generate text in terms of code, right? It can generate topics. It can give you prompts. Like it can advise you on how to build, on what to do, right? That's the whole idea why it's called a generative AI assistant. I remember some I was having a discussion with someone, and someone was like, "Oh, okay, everybody's shouting about Gen AI. What does Gen AI really mean?" And I was I happened to be in that room, and I was like, "Look, don't let Gen AI look like some big buzzword you really don't know, right? Gen AI is just the gen there is something saying generative, generation, anything around generating, right? That's why it's just called Gen AI. So generative artificial intelligent assistant. That's all. So when you are able to then break it down into this complex, then you can now start understanding what it means. The generative there is the fact that it has the power to generate, produce, create ideas, prompts, solutions, code base based on certain, I would say, text or prompts given to it. That's the simple word. It has the idea, or it has the ability to generate text. It could be sound, it could be pictures, images, right? Based on certain key terms or prompts given to it. That's why it's called generative AI. So there are other AI tools used for various things that are not necessary, they are not generative, right? They don't generate new artifacts. But this particular service that Amazon has called Amazon Q generates new artifacts for you based on inputs it's been given. We also have some other services by AWS that falls under the AI assistant ecosystem, right? And such services also include the AWS App Studio, which is generally like a low-code environment for building and managing your AI-powered applications with intuitive interfaces. Intuitive in the sense that you get some spontaneous ideas on the kind of interfaces you want to build, right? So another service also that falls in this category is what we call the core services, right? Such as Lambda for serverless computing, S3 for storage, DynamoDB for database needs, API gateway for RESTful interface, and the last but not the least is the security service, built-in compliance controls, encryption options, and I am fine-grained access management, right? So all of these are AI assistants that can also help you in building wonderful applications or solutions. All right, so we'll proceed, right? Now, when you talk about AWS AI assistants, what are the things you need to look out for? What are specific features you need to be on the lookout for? So, one of the things you want to generally see is advanced intelligence. You want to be able to see an application that is very intelligent, right? In terms of how it understands the problem you are giving it, and its capacity to solve problems as fast as possible based on the knowledge provided by you, right? So you generally want an application, or you generally want an AI assistant to be well versed in able to think, in able to understand, process the problems you're sharing with it, and provide solutions to those problems. Another thing you also want to have in an as AWS AI assistant is the natural language processing. This is just generally the ability of your AI assistant tool to be able to understand conversations or tasks in human language, right? Just like the way I speak, the way you speak, you understand. So you want to have your AWS tool to have that natural language processing ability, right? Another feature the AWS AI Assistant tool has is the enterprise knowledge access, right? Seamless integration with company documentations, and the fact that you can also integrate your customized company details into models you want to work with. So, yes, you can build a model, customize it in such a way that it provides a solution for only your company based on the data you have provided it with, right? That's one beautiful thing about it. Now, another feature you also want to have in mind when you're talking about an AI assistant tool, an AWS AI assistant tool, is your security and compliance. Now, with everything I've told you, if you have a scenario where you are not secure, your application is not secure, the kind of codes you're building are not secure, you can be easily hacked. I'm sure you would want to step back and look at how you can secure those applications. But the beautiful thing is that AWS AI assistants were built with such measures to provide so much security and compliance in the solutions, right? So I think that is one very awesome thing you really, really need to know, right? And also, when you're talking about AWS AI assistants, you are looking at what AI infrastructure. So, so many people are of the idea that AI is coming to take people's jobs, AI is coming to do this. But let me tell you, AI is not going to work on its own, right? AI is going to probably need some infrastructure set up for it to work on, right? It's not going to just stand on its own. Even if you are going to be building a model, a model, you need to put it in some form of infrastructure, right? You need to be able to set up a server. So, what happens to the job of that guy who has to set up a server? Right? So the job of that guy who has set up the server is, I think, it's secure to the best of my understanding, because the AI itself will not write the code to deploy it. What was no will not would it might write the code to deploy it, but will not deploy it itself, right? Right. So you need the platform for the AI itself to run. So those of you that are scared, because I don't want you to be scared, what I want you to do is understand how these AI mechanisms work and how you can use them to boost your production at work. I'm telling you. So if you have not been doing that, I really, really want to encourage you to maximize the use of wonderful services like this. We are going to be having a practical session where we will be looking at some how this AI assistants really help you on your day-to-day task. We are going to be taking a look at that, and I really, really want you, like I said, to have a good understanding of how this works. All right, so um, the next slide is planning your AI assistant requirements. So, I mean, you have day-to-day tasks, right? And you want your AI assistants to be able to help you in achieving this task. You need to be able to plan to know how you can group the task and what you can put in place. You need to be able to have this in mind, right? So, in order to plan this, one of the things you need to do is one, you need to define what are the core tasks. These are generally identifying repetitive workflow that would benefit from automation. Of course, by now you know that it's not every workflow you can automate, right? It's not every workflow you can automate. There are some that one way or the other, you will still need somebody to go and do one or two things, You understand? So basically, you need to then itemize, right? What particular workflow, um, what particular workflow would benefit from automation processes. Another thing you need to take a look at, what are the kind of AWS services that are appropriate for those services, right? So you need to be able to choose appropriate tools from the AWS ecosystem. So, like I said, AWS has a range of services that are AI powered, right? Now, you need to actually pick which service suits your need, right? So that's why you need to be able to understand how each of the AI powered services work, and then bring to context how they will be able to help solve your problem. So you know your problem. Now just go to the AI powered tools and look which one will help you solve those problems, right? Another thing you also want to have in consideration is user experience, right? Now, in making use of various interfaces in terms of how you connect to your AI assistant tool, right? You also want to make sure you are probably using interfaces, or you are providing user experience that, let me say, your colleagues are encouraged to make use of, right? Trust me, there are some user interface you see and you'll be like, what? Who did this? So you don't want to be in that limelight, you don't want to be in that scenario. You want to be able to ensure that even while the users are making use of your services, they also enjoy the user experience. So that is one thing you also want to put in mind, right? And then the next thing you want to do is what? Security planning, right? So remember, like I said, in everything you have to do with your AI assistance tools, you also have to put what? Security in mind, right? So successful AI assistant implementation begins through planning. You understand? Start by documenting your most time consuming repetitive tasks and workflows that follow what? Consistent plannings, right? And then by the time you're able to identify these tasks, then you can now say, okay, I have all of these tasks. Which tools will best fit to implement or automate all of these tasks? Right. So, on to the next slide. We are looking at basically about the architecture overview. So, of course, you know that your AI assistant tool, they have your user interface layer, your processing layer, and your data and AI layer, right? So generally, these are just talking about let's say for the user interface layer, it's your user interface, your web applications, chat interfaces, or command line tools that provide entry prompts for user interaction. Your process layer are generally things like your AWS Lambda function, handling business logic, processes, requests, and orchestrating workflows for you. And your data and AI layer are layers like your DynamoDB and S3 store, structured and unstructured data, while Amazon Bedrock or Amazon Q provides the what? AI capabilities, right? So these are the things you also want to take a look at to have general understanding. So let's move on. How do you build and how do you work with your AI assistants in building and deploying, right? So here it says building and deploying the AI assistant. So you could generally make tools, you can make use of existing tools, right? So you can generate ideas, you can generate prompt code using your what? Your AWS App Studio. You can customize, integrate, refine your prompts and various interaction patterns. And then sure, you can proceed then with deploying with your CI/CD tools, right? Automate testing and deployment. And then here you see it says here AWS App Studio dramatically simplifies the development process by generating much of the boilerplate code needed for your what? AI assistant. So you can make use of the AI powered tools in AWS to build um, solutions and other AI assistant tools as well, right? So that's the beauty of all of this. And on to the next one, we have use cases. What are those use cases where your AI assistants come in, right? Let's say you want your AI assistant to be able to analyze emails for you, identify meeting requests, check calendars, for availability, and automating your schedules, appropriate time slots. So you want to be able to do all this, right? So, and for you to be able to do all this, you need to understand which of the AI tools best fit for you, right? So you also you can have use cases where you want your AI tools to be able to do document summarization, or you need employees to be able to go through the stack of knowledge base you have, and go through and get extract from relevant sections and generate some concise summaries. So your AI assistants are able to scan through all of those backdrop documents you have, generate concise summaries tailored to specific questions you may have. And also, another use case is workflow automations, right? So, this is another reason why you need AI assistants, right? AI assistants excel at initiating workflows based on conversational triggers. Yes, conversational triggers. The reason why this is very important is that it helps to what produce context, right? So whatever you're doing, you need to give context to all of these things, right? So that is one beautiful thing you need to know. I think it's time for us to proceed to the practical session. But I will just go through the best practices in terms of quantifiable time saving, employee experience, data security best practices, right? So for quantifying time saving, you want your organizations to typically report 20 to 30% reduction in time spent on administrative tasks, because now you are making use of AI assistance. So you have reduced time in what you would take 10 days to do, you should now be doing in, let's say, 7 days, or let me say 6 days. Why? Because you have some AI assistants to help you reduce the workload. AI assistant also helps you in eliminating frustrative repetitive tasks, right? Leading to improved job satisfaction and retention. And another thing you want to look at is implementing principle of least privilege, encrypting sensitive data both in transit and at rest, maintaining comprehensive audit logs to all assistant actions. So this is something your AI assistant is capable of helping you with. All right, on to the next one. Future outlook and next steps, right? What is the next term? What is the long term, right? So when you're looking about on AI powered tools, you want to be able to experiment with Amazon Q developer for coding assistance and document retrieval to build familiarity with AWS AI capabilities. Now, for the long term, what you want to do is that you want to expand to enterprise-wide AI assistant platforms with multiple specialized capabilities and deep integration with business systems. So you want to be able to go to that level, right? Start here, but you are foresight looking at that level. And AWS has very smart services for you to be able to do all of that. Yeah, so that is one thing you also want to do. The next thing we move on the next slide is practical sessions. Good. So for the practical sessions, one of the things we are going to be doing today is we are going to see how can we build wonderful applications, right? Making use of what's the word? AI powered tools like Amazon Q, right? So that is one awesome thing we are going to be doing. So get ready, get ready, get ready. Yeah. First things first, let's see. Let me see. Okay. First things first, one thing we want to do is we want to set up our VS code. So we're going to be doing some wonderful stuffs on VS code. So let me bring that up. in a bit. Yes, let me bring that up in a bit. All right, good. I think I do have this now, so I can do this. All right, let's go here, document. Yeah, I'm pulling up my what's the word now? Okay, good. All right, so this is my directory. This is my directory. Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Oh, okay. I need to create one more. Uh, yeah. Okay. And I would say awesome. All right. Here is my good. Good, good. Oh, okay. I think I need to escape this. Yeah, escape. All right, and yeah, maybe I can minimize this and then proceed to bring this back up. Maybe let me do this. Yeah, okay, yeah, I think that resolves it. All right, so I do have some open windows here, which I'm going to close. Yeah, do I have any file here? No, I don't. Okay, I will just create a sample file here though. Just yeah. So, like I said, one of the interesting things we want to be able to do today is we want to be able to see how Amazon Q can help us to build interesting services, right? Or interesting solutions. Um, I would be connecting to Amazon Q. So for those of you who are wondering, how do you integrate Amazon Q to your VS Code? One of the things you need to do is you go here under your VS Code, you can go here and just search for Amazon Q, right? So you search for Amazon Q and you click the what install button. So right now, what you can see is that I have it installed, right? That's what you can see. I have it installed, but in your case, oh, am I still sharing the wrong screen? I believe that is resolved. Can you all see my screen? Oh, not anymore. Okay, so let me probably yeah, let me probably share my screen again. I thought I was sharing my screen. My bad. Um okay. Can you all see my screen now? Awesome. 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 All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um so like I said, one of the beautiful things you want to do when you are integrating your Amazon queue into your environment or into your VS Code is that the first thing is you want to be able to install the extension in your VS Code. So all you need to do is come to your marketplace here, search for Amazon Q, and then you click on the install button. And then once you have installed this, the next thing is going to ask you is um, you need to be able to connect your Amazon queue to your profile. Maybe we can do something like that, because here I am connected right now, but I can sign out. So the first thing is going to ask you to do is generally to link your Amazon queue to your AWS builder ID. So that is one thing you want to do. And how then do you go about that? You can see here, I just signed out now, right? So it's going to ask, this is the prompt you would normally get when you install it. Once you click on this install button, you would get something like this. It will say choose a sign-in option, right? So the next thing you want to do is you want to click on this, use for free with a builder ID, a personal profile from AWS. So once you do that, it's going to tell you, okay, you need to be able to authenticate, right? So I know you might not be able to see my screen, but this is what happened. Let me show you this. Yeah, so this popped up on my screen just right after I clicked on that. Right? This popped up. So it says here, allow AWS IDE extension for VS Code to access your data. By choosing allow access, you agree to allow AWS IDE extension for VS Code to access the following: Amazon Q developer. So you can see show details here. You can see enable access to this, enable access to Amazon Q developer agents for code transformation, for inline code suggestion, for software development, Amazon Q chat, Q code analysis, right? So a lot of wonderful services that Amazon Q is able to help you with. So all you just need to do is what? Click on what? Allow access, right? When you click on allow access, then you should then be redirected. You can see it says your request is now approved, right? It says your request is now approved, and then it tells something about um, AWS extension for VS Code has been given requested permission. You can close this window and start using your AWS ID extensions for VS Code, right? So that is one beautiful thing you want to do. So because that is done, now you can see that we are authenticated, right? So now how do we go about this? What do we do? What exactly do we do? We have our AI assistant working now. What exactly do we do? So one of the things we can do simply is by just running few automation tasks which we want to be able to do, right? And lest I forget, while you're doing all of this, it's important to know that Amazon Q helps you generally with in building a lot of things, right? It helps you in building a lot of things, right? And also for Amazon services, you can integrate a lot of Amazon services into your Amazon queue, right? Just like I remember one of them is the Amazon Lex. That's something you can always integrate into your Amazon queue to be able to facilitate things like natural language processing, right? Of course, you have some other services, but Amazon Lex is one of those wonderful services, right? And one of the things you want to also understand when building or when developing applications with Amazon Q is that for daily tasks, one of the things you need to do is you always need to define, right? You always need to define, and you always need to like give it custom prompts with intent on what you want to do. So you generally have to be able to say, for it to understand your daily tasks, you generally need to define and set custom prompts, or prompts that define your intent on what you want to achieve, right? And also, um, for Amazon Q to be able to assist your application development, one of the things you need to do is that it needs to help you. You need to understand how it works in terms of being able to understand the kind of queries you are giving it and how it's able to respond to your queries. That is one thing you need to specifically understand. And also for you to deploy AI assistant for your for user interaction, one of the things that's aside so in order for you to be able to deploy, let's say, an AI assistant aside your default AI powered services. Some of the other services you can make use of are, I think some of them are, I think Amazon let I mentioned that for hosting endpoints, and also for one of the things you can do is for Connect, Amazon Connect. It's something you can also use when you want to deploy your service, when you want to deploy services that help you with AI assistance. So these are things you also need to put at the back of your mind. So with this now, we've set up the Amazon queue. Now let's see how we can use it to generate applications, right? So one of the things you can do, you can give a prompt like this to read. You can see here, you say, okay, what is I would like to create a single page application involving Next.js React framework, right? For tic-tac-toe game, right? What are the steps involved? So this is an awesome prompt you can give your Amazon queue, and then let's see how it reacts. I believe you are able to see my screen. So now you see Amazon queue doing all of this. Can you see? So the first thing you want to be able to do is that you want to be able to, you know, create the project where you want it to work on, right? That's one thing you want it to be able to do, right? So look at it like your project could just be like a folder or something like that, where it needs to um, drop all of the files that it may need, right? Another prompt that you can give it could generally be something like this. I would share example of prompts like this that you can generally make use of, right? So you see that currently it's trying to run build the project, right? It's trying to build the project. So we are not going to stop it from building the project, right? We will in fact just probably while it's building this project, we'll probably create another tab for it to so that this we don't stop the ongoing stuff it's trying to do. So we just create another tab and then give it this prompt. Now, on this prompt, what are we doing, right? We are only saying, right, um, create a React based simple page application written in TypeScript for what? A tic tac toe game with the following specifications. One, design an aesthetic pleasing interface with the game grid centered vertically and horizontally on the page. Include a heading and clear instruction on how to play the game, and what implement color coding for X and O marks to distinguish them easily. Right? So we push this. So you see now it says what? Um, after you provide a task, I will do the following. It will generate the code, provide a list of suggestions. If needed, iterate based on your what feedback. So look at what it's doing now. Say, okay, I will generate a code for that. This might take what? A few minutes, right? So you can see here, you can navigate away from this chart, but please keep the tab open. I'll notify you when I'm done, right? So see what is going on here. This is still running. You can see the stop sign is still there. It's telling you that it's trying to generate the project. And while it's trying to do that, I'm using another task to what generate the necessary code. So you can see what it's doing. Say, I will share updates here as I work. And then it begins to give what summary of the changes it's doing. First, I would explore the repository structure, viewing the readme.md file to understand, right? And then it will do what? It will create. So it has reviewed it. Now it's creating the package.json file. In fact, it has created it, right? So you can see that with just few prompts of code is already what generating these files, right? It's already generating these files. And I'm not doing anything, I'm not typing any code, but look at all it's doing on its own. I didn't type any code. I only gave it what set of prompts, right? So you see, it will keep running this. You can see this is still running, so I'm not even bothering to stop this, right? I just generated this tab so you can see all the file is creating. Can you see? Look at it's creating all of these files by itself. I didn't touch anything. You understand? So what it's going to do is that at the end of the day, you are going to find interesting things. Let me show you all these files you see it's creating. You'll see them here. Let me see, trying to see the directory where it's creating the so you see it's creating all of these files. But let me see, 8 files, right? So you can see from here, it's now telling me, what do I want to do? Do I want to accept the changes? I said what? Yes. Yeah, I accept all changes. So you can see it has generated all these tasks, right? It has generated all these tasks. Now it's asking me, would you like me to add this code to your project? Or yes, it says, okay, I've updated your code files. Would you like to work on another task? I say yes, right? I want to work on another task. And I could then provide another set of prompts to it, right? So I would then look at, let me see where these files are stored. 1 minute. Let me see if I can get to these files. Good. So all of the files are stored in here. Okay, maybe let me open the folder. Yeah. Good. So now you can see all of the files it generated. You can see them. It generated the CSS file, this. You can see, and all of this were generated without me doing anything. I didn't touch anything. All of this were generated on its own, right? So you can see the amazing application. So the next thing I can do is I can then give it another prompt, and I can say something like this. I can give it a prompt to say ensure proper typescripting, uh, proper TypeScript typing for on square click event handler to resolve any type issues. And then let's work. See what it says. Say, I will generate code for that. So you see, it's now generating all the necessary codes that it will need. You see, so once you see this stop sign, don't click on it. What it means is that it's working behind the scene, right? It's working behind the scene and trying to do some things. So I know time is fully well spent, right? But I did something before now, right? I experimented with all of this, right? And I want to show you what the end game would look like, because I know you still have to do some quiz and all of that, right? So if you see what your end game would look like, would be something like this. Um, I'm going to I'm going to go to this location, right? So the end game of all of this is something like this, right? I believe you can see my prompt and you can see my screen. Maybe I would make it a bit bigger so you can see the kind of prompts I give and how it works. So the first thing I want to be able to do, right, is I want to go to my project location. So I can just copy this location and copy this part, and I go to my terminal here. I go to my terminal and CD to that location, right? But I want to CD to some other location where I had finalized the test because of time, right? I'm going to CD to this, and then I think I have another directory here, right? Yeah, so I'll CD to Node.js. So I'm in Node.js now, and for me to be able to run my application, one of the things I can do is I can just say npm run dev, npm run dev. So on this directory, basically, I have been able to what's the word? Install everything that my application would need. So right now, I am running this application on Node.js. It's making use of my resources on my laptop to be able to power this application, right? And remember that I did not code. I did not I did not write any single code. All I did was provide prompts, right? And we can then go here to take a look at the application it was able to build, right? So I'll just come here and click on this. So when I do this, I should then be able to have access to whatever application is being hosted in my on this port, right? Why? Because it's serving me here. So you can see that the application page has loaded. Remember that I did not type any single code, guys. I didn't type any single code. All I did was to provide prompts, right? So trust me, Amazon Q is here to do wonders, is here to do justice. And if I click on these links, they actually do work, right? This takes me to the Next.js website. If I click on this, it takes me to you can see how to the learning page for Next.js, right? And all of this was done just by prompting. So, guys, trust me, this is a lot. It's a lot. I know that it's a lot, but I want you to start learning. I want to start learning. I want you to start taking advantage of these services to build wonderful applications. Now, imagine that you don't even do anything, you already have a code based template like this. Then, if you then have to build a specific application, you can then customize the code base you already have to build stuff. But by default, you have an existing application ready for you to work with. Isn't that amazing, guys? To me, I feel that this is really, really amazing. Right. So at this point, in order not to waste so much time, I know there's also a quiz session coming up. So I will hand it over to the moderator to pick on from here. Hello, Timmy. Yeah, I know I
Thank
took
you.
so much time. I know I took so much time.
Yeah, it's fine. At least every one of us can testify that we all learned a lot of things today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
On behalf of
Awesome.
everyone, I say thank you. And it
Awesome.
was really a great session. And I'm very sure the audience can also agree with me
Yeah,
on that.
someone was also asking me to share the place where I got the prompt from.
Yes.
I'm sharing them here on this page. I don't know if it's going to appear on their screen, but yeah, sure. Just pasted them.
Okay.
Um, it's also showing on the screen here, right? So you can make use of this prompt to be able to deploy your application and all of that. So sorry, let me not take much more time. Please proceed. Proceed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing. Okay, so before we go into the live quiz, so okay, someone had a question. What is the cost like for Amazon Q? So
Um, so one of the things you have to do is some of these services have been refined in such a way that you don't really have to pay much to make use of them. As only when you are building some of the, let's say, business like applications, right? There are other versions of AI services you can make use of, but for these services, I don't think the cost. I don't know the exact figure, but for development work like what we are doing here, I don't think they are much. I think there are things it's just things you integrate. And besides, for something like this, you remember when we were trying to authenticate, he said free, free. If you provide your profile ID for AWS, he said free. So I don't think there's really any cost specifically attached to this. So I don't know if there are any other questions.
yeah, okay, no, so, okay, so thank you for that. So God's time, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so someone was asking, so this is about if you can get the video after the class. Okay, thank you, Orolua. So Olagide, this session is being live streamed on YouTube, so you can as well go back to it and rewatch as much as you want, so you can just to digest for your interest. If any other person, if you have question, this is the time where we can dissect every question you have, and you, as I said earlier, you can go back and rewatch it just for your whole learning and practical knowledge. Thank you so much, Mr. Promise. It was a really, really insightful session. I know our time is fast spent, but I can assure you that it was worth it. And everything we hear here, we're going to go back to our various houses and digest and make use of it. Thank you so much. Okay, I don't know if Mr. Promise is still here. Adewale is asking a question. Mr. Promise, are you still here? Okay, so Adewale is asking a question that is there a limit to how many requests you can make daily or monthly?
So far, I don't know of any limit so far. I don't know
Okay.
of any limit so far, but maybe that is something to confirm to be sure of. But currently, I can't say I know of any limit so far.
Okay. Thank you. So I do that answers your question, I guess. So you can also make your research based on it as well, I guess.
Sure.
And Olaide, you're welcome. Thank you. So if there are not any other questions for now, so I think we can also like proceed to the quiz session where we can answer questions, where we can make use of the knowledge and the whole practical experience we've had today. So there is a little quiz that we would, for some of us that have been here before, so I'm very sure you should be familiar with this routine as well. So we have some questions, like a quiz where you can answer question, and let's just test our knowledge and see how that goes, and we keep on improving because learning is not just for a day. Learning is every day. It never stops. So, Mr. Promise, do you want to share your quiz right now? You're muted if that is it, or I can't
Oh,
hear you. Yes.
sorry, I thought you did have the link ready. Israel,
Mm,
and I remember Israel and said it was ready.
yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm acting already.
I
So,
think
if
he
you,
should provide you the link.
yes. Hi, Israel.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see if I can log into the platform. Just a minute.
Thank you so
Give me
much.
a minute while he does that. Just 1 minute. Trying to see if I can log into the platform.
Right, thank you. So, guys, it's just going to be a short quiz, so or it's not going to be a waste of your time. So, please pardon pause. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Just a minute. I just spoke with Israel. He's sharing the link to, and he's either sharing his screen or his yeah. Just a minute.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So guys, please just some little patience so that we can display the quiz and we can round up the session. It shouldn't take much time. Yeah, Israel, we are still waiting on you if you're there. We are still waiting on you for the quiz. Maybe you could also share the link
Exactly.
so
Yes.
that we could display it here as well.
Mhm.
One moment. Um, yeah, sometimes things like this happen. So maybe while we are waiting for Israel, we could actually take a look at our code to see if it's ready, and before Israel comes on board. Let me
That's
see if I can share my screen. Is Israel back?
no, no. You can go
All
ahead.
right. So Temitope just alert me when he's on
Yes, I will.
board so that we can proceed.
Yes, I will.
Uh, are you able to see my screen as well? I'm trying to.
Oh no,
You're not able to see my screen.
no.
Oh, okay. I think maybe that was what he was talking about. Let me try again and let me see. It looks like there's some issue with that. Let me try. I think you're still not able to see my screen, right?
Okay. It looks like it's about to come up earlier, and okay. I think it's showing more like it's about to come up, and it went back.
Oh, okay. Let me share again then.
Yes.
I think the platform is having some kind of issues. I think. Right, okay. I think the issue is from the platform we are using. For some reason, it's just not displaying the screens anymore.
Okay.
So Israel has shared the links to the question. Yeah, maybe we can proceed with that. Are you able to
To
share
sign
your
in,
screen, Temitope?
I'm required to sign in, so
Oh,
that might
I see
yes,
it's requesting for access. Israel, if you
yes.
can hear us, please grant us access if you can hear us to the sheet. Oh, Israel has shared the other link. Interesting. Okay. I'm able to open the link, but I
Um,
don't know.
I'm trying on my hand,
Okay,
but
let's see.
okay. So
Uh, I'm able to open the link, but I don't know if there's a. Okay, that should be the pin code. So, guys, to join the quiz, I see it looks like the quiz is running. You just need to do this. Yeah, I'm sharing the link to the quiz. So guys, I've just displayed the quiz link on the screen. Yeah, you can go to this link to join the quiz. You can go to this link to join the quiz. You can go to this link to join the quiz, guys. Are we all there?
Please, it will be also nice if you can just indicate if you get the link. You
If you
have
can indicate if you can see the link, I share the link on the screen. You need to go to AHA Slides WDXGB.
please, you can just indicate so we know if we're good.
I think the problem was with the platform. So let's go. I think I don't know how many people are signed on now. I'm waiting for Israel to give me a link list of how many people are signed on because I
Yes.
tried to share my screen as well and I was having a bit of some difficulty. Looks like
Try again.
yeah, I just tried again,
I think
but
it's about
is it back? Can you see my screen?
no, no.
Yeah, so I think the platform is kind of having some issues. So for now, let's make use of the link. So Israel, please, if you're listening to this, let us know if we can start. Yes,
Yes. So Adewale has joined. Yeah.
Israel, can we start? Let us know if we can start the quiz. Oh, so Israel says we have 3 people now that has joined. So hello guys, you people should join on. I see about 15 people here. So how come just only 3 people are joining the quiz? Yes, I'm having a chat with Israel right now. So he's giving me the updates. So guys, let's join in. Israel is telling me just 3 people have joined in. So I mean, I see 15 people on the call. So 5 players already. Okay. I see 5 players already. Five, 5 players already. Oh, nice. Ore was able to share. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Ore. Ore, I think you have to be on stage to share. So please don't go offline. Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Be on stage to share, Ore, please. Okay, so Ore is sharing the link. We have just 5 people connected. Where are the rest? I'm wondering who's going to win this game this time around. But I know if you were really paying attention, I know that you would. Anyway, we have 5. I think we can start so we don't waste so much time.
I think it should be
I
more
think
than
we can start.
it's more
So
than five.
8 players now, or Israel
Nine.
says 8 players. So I think we can start now.
Yes.
Yeah, let me let Israel know we can start. Okay, the questions are started already. What is the primary purpose of Amazon Q in building applications? What is the primary purpose of Amazon Q in building applications? If you were paying rapt attention, I know you would get this. If you were paying rapt attention, I know you would get this. All right, time's up. Okay. Wow. 7, everyone got this. Amazing, amazing. It means everyone is paying attention. I like that. I like that. Okay, let's see who is stopping the charts. Adewale Ayeni Bepo. Nice, nice, nice. Means Adewale was very fast in typing. All right. Next question. Which AWS service is most likely integrated with Amazon Q to facilitate natural language processing? I remember I mentioned this one too. I remember mentioning this. Let's see who is going to get the answer. Which AWS service is most likely integrated with Amazon Q to facilitate natural language processing? Let's see. Wow, eight people got it and one person failed. I know I mentioned this when I was teaching. I know I mentioned this. Nice. So let's see if Adewale is still leading. That guy is vexing. Oh, Adewale, well done. Oh, I see your energy. Keep it up. Then Hakaiva. Let's see if Hakaiva stays second. When developing an application with Amazon Q, what is the key step to enable it to understand your daily tasks? This one, I mentioned this one too. What is the key step to enable it to understand your daily task? This one, I know I remember I mentioned it. It's for only those that were paying attention. Let's see who's going to win it. And if Adewale, everybody got it. Wow. I feel this is nice. It means a lot of people were paying attention then. That's good. A lot of people were paying attention. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Nice. Nice. Awesome. Let's see if Adewale is still topping the chart. Three times in a row. Baba, nice one, nice one, nice one. And Hakaiva seems to be keeping up the tempo as well. I'm watching out for Limitless now. Let me see if Samuel will beat Limitless. So I'm watching out between Samuel and Limitless, who will maintain the position. Which of the following is a benefit of using Amazon Q to assist with application development? Which of the following is a benefit of using Amazon Q to assist with application development? Let's see who gets this one. Let's see. Let's see who gets this one. Let's see who gets this one. I know I mentioned this too. Wow, everybody got it. People were really paying attention. No, this is what it means. It means people really, really paid attention. Nice. I'm happy about that. Adewale is so Hakaiva dusted Adewale. Adewale, what are you doing? Why did you let this happen? Limitless and Samuel. I think Limitless maintained his spot, but Samuel, I'm not sure of. No, Limitless gapped Samuel. Let's see, let's see. Anyway, let's see who topped this chart. Last question for the day. In building an app with Amazon Q, what AWS service would you mainly use to deploy the AI assistant for user interaction? I know I mentioned this one, Sha. So let's see. Let's see if anyone is able to get this. I know I mentioned this one. So let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's see who gets this. Time is up. Time is up. Wow, everyone got it. Wow, people were really paying attention. That's all I can say. That's just all I can say. People were really paying attention. Wow, Hakaiva won. Hakaiva, how did you do this? How did you beat Adewale like this? Adewale, what happened? Congratulations, congratulations, Hakaiva. You did awesomely well. You were not the first, but you didn't start at first being the first, but then you dusted Adewale to top the spot. So I mean that's awesome. Congratulations, Akaiva.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Wow, that was really interesting. And that was nice.
Yeah.
It means people were really, really
Congratulations.
paying attention.
Well,
Nice.
at least it shows that everyone is paying attention. At least
Yeah, yeah,
that's good
true,
feedback.
true,
And
true,
take
true.
that. That's nice. That's nice. And
Well,
congratulations to everybody.
yeah, congratulations to Akaiva for winning amazing first position. That's really cool. But I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't stop here. We also have a session tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
So guys, you need to also tune in tomorrow because we also have another amazing session coming up. And of course, you're going to have wonderful speakers here telling you about wonderful topics, nine wonderful services about AWS. So guys, I need you to stay tuned. If you have not registered for the session, go and register for the session, right? Go and register for the session. So see you all tomorrow, guys.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining, and I will be seeing you tomorrow. Every one of you
Awesome.
here. Thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
to
Collins.
Temitope for hosting us today.
You want to host you more and more again. Thank you
Nice,
so much for sharing your
nice,
knowledge.
nice.
Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
every one of you, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much.
Awesome,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
How about
Bye.
if you have not joined the community, ensure you join the community. Oh.
Exactly.
Join the
Thank you.
community if
Thank
you
you
have
for
not
mentioning that.
joined.